And as I said last week, if you don't watch this, what happens is people write things, I don't even know what these questions are, but I'm going to ask them. This is for you, Malcolm. How much longer will the American public tolerate our involvement in Ukraine? Well, I think they're more than tolerating it. I think they're pretty much foursquare behind it. Most people aren't.
Yeah, we're absolutely behind it. And we're going to tolerate it as long as we can feel that we're upholding the democratic values we established in the world for the rest of the world. I mean, we didn't give up. I mean, did we give up in the Civil War? Did we give up in World War I, World War II? We put up with it. I mean, it's not like going to Burger King.
No, we gave up in Vietnam.
But there's that one.
No, we didn't give up, but we, I mean, we kind of have slacked off as far as our war.
We're a country of good tolerance.
Hey, right, you guys, let's discuss something serious. Malcolm Nance just dropped some major insight on the U.S. stance in Ukraine, and it's not your normal hot opinion. He's saying this isn't just some far-off conflict. It's the front line in the international struggle between democracy and authoritarianism. Nance flat out compares it to World War II and the Cold War. Those eras in history when America had to decide, are we going to lead or are we going to sit back? And according to him, Ukraine is that moment right now. It's about maintaining human rights, aiding our allies, and sending a message to governments like Russia that democracy doesn't back down. Yeah, he recognizes the arguments about cost and battle weariness, but his point is, when the stakes are this high, waiting it out just isn't an option. Let's go into what he's genuinely saying and why it matters more than ever.
What do you make of Ron DeSantis installing a conservative anti-woke board at the new College of Florida?
So he has made a big name for himself as being someone who is pushing back against what he views as an education system, both K-12 and higher ed, that's gone too far off. I don't know that the answer to liberal overreach in higher ed is conservative overreach in higher ed.
Right.
So I'm much more interested in, when I'm thinking about higher education in Florida, my home state, is I look at the University of Florida, where Ben Sasse was just installed as president. There were some protesters, but not as many on the day of his actual installment. And he has really said, I'm not coming at this with an ideological lens. He is certainly conservative himself, but can he take an institution and actually do interesting things with it that are not about owning the libs or about proving this is what a conservative school is like? This is something that frustrates me about the right, is every time they see something on the left that they think they've gone too far, we need to create a conservative version of it. Let's have conservative Wikipedia. Let's have conservative Twitter.
Right.
It's just silly. Why not just try to thrive in these institutions and do what you can to make them work for everyone from within?
Okay, so let's talk about what Ron DeSantis is doing with Florida's education system. Because certainly it's generating waves. He's really gone full speed ahead on this anti-woke campaign, and one of the major measures is reshaping New College of Florida by bringing in a conservative board to, as he puts it, fight back against liberal overreach. Now, depending on who you ask, this is either a daring effort for balance in higher ed or a plain old power grab that essentially swaps one type of discrimination with another. Supporters are complimenting him for taking a stand, while skeptics are questioning, is this actually addressing anything or merely flipping the script? This whole event hit real time with Bill Maher, and you know it became ugly. Kristen Soltis. Anderson made an excellent point. She stated universities should be about inclusivity and education, not evolving into political battlegrounds. And of course, Bill Maher couldn't resist cracking a joke. He labeled the conservative makeover a Mirror World Hogwarts. I mean, painful, but also kind of entertaining. It definitely got the panel pumped up.
For the panel, does the fact that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is does the fact that, this is written badly, that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a Nepo baby detract from her political accomplishments? I guess they were hearing me talk about the Huckabee dynasty. But yes, that's a big saying these days, Nepo baby. You know what that is? It's like they mostly refer to people in show business as Nepo. Anybody whose mother or father was a star, and then you're a star, that makes you a Nepo baby. I could name many of them. They're very upset about being called that. I've noticed this phenomenon forever, as many people have out here, and it's fine if your parents were in show business. Just don't say, as I've heard some of them say, well, it wasn't any easier for me. Yes, it was. It was easier for you. Or the other thing they say a lot is, well, it just got me in the door. Well, that's a lot of it in show business.
All right, let's get into it. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is now part of the Nepo baby conversation, and the panel on Real Time had some remarks. So, yeah, she's the daughter of Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, and that last name surely created chances. Let's be serious. Name recognition in politics? But here's the twist. The panel wasn't simply throwing shade. They honestly gave her credit where it's due. She won the election fair and square, and that matters. Bill Maher brought up a bigger point. America's always had political dynasties. The Bushes, the Roosevelts. It's kind of built into our system. At this point, having a big last name could help you advance, but it also puts a target on your back. Legacy may be a launch pad and a weight. Now, what's remarkable is how the panel identified a definite difference. This isn't Hollywood-style nepotism where you gain a job only because your dad's a producer. Sanders had to campaign, garner votes, and actually win a statewide battle.
Politics, one of the things that you want generally is higher name ID. When a pollster like me goes out and we do a survey, we want to know how many people know what your name is at all. And if you have a dad or increasingly a mom that has been in politics before, it does make it easier for voters to just go, I liked her dad.
George Bush,
so, you know,
the second, that guy, when he ran, he went to the top of the polls, and I remember this story, I think in 1999, the people thought it was his father. That's what they were responding to. He had the same name, and they thought, oh, George Bush is running again. Right, he was a one-termer, he could do it.
And Franklin Roosevelt's cousin Teddy was president before him.
Sure.
John Quincy Adams' dad was president before. I mean, there is a tradition of that in America, but you still have to. I don't support Governor Sanders. I don't know her. I probably wouldn't even like her. But she earned that job, fair and square. She won the election. By the way, we didn't cheat. Nobody cheated. It wasn't rigged. She won the election fair and square, and she's entitled, I think, to the respect that a governor of a state should
I noticed
have,
that
right?
she made a big point of age. She said, Biden is 80 and I'm 40. By the way, I thought she was 60, but okay. I was shocked. No, I'm not 60, but I was shocked that she was only 40. I mean, Washington has a way of taking a toll on you. Let's just leave it at that. But, I mean, that was kind of a strange thing to brag about, I thought.
I don't think it's a strange thing to brag about, especially if your core argument going into 2024 is that Joe Biden is past his prime and we need to do something new. Now, it depends upon, does the Republican Party not nominate someone who is also approaching 80?
Wow.
And so that's why some people
Don't say depends when you're talking about 80.
Something that I thought was very interesting about her response is she talked a lot about a new generation of Republican leadership. And when she talked about her time working for the former president, she did not use the word Trump once.
Yes, and I understand he was sick.
I feel the subject surrounding Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the overall Nepo baby controversy in politics is more profound than people give it credit for. Yes, name recognition surely provides candidates a step forward. In a field where visibility is crucial, that sort of head start counts. But at the same time, Sanders' achievement was the consequence of a true democratic process. Voters made the call, and whether it was her opinions, personality, or family lineage that resonated, well, that's part of the political game. That said, we do have to look at the bigger picture. Political legacies bring up important questions concerning justice and access. Do dynasties make it difficult for outsiders, especially those with fresh perspectives or unorthodox origins, to break through? I'm not arguing legacy is inherently bad, but it may feed into the sense that leadership is reserved for a select few. For me, what's genuinely crucial is how these leaders use their position. If they stress service over self-interest, that's what produces long-term respect, regardless of how they got there. And with Sanders, time will tell. Her conduct as governor will say more than her last name ever could. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.